Now for a quick introduction into microservices. Microservices is an architecture style whereby an application is built or made of small services, and each one of these services will be running in its own process. And communication between the services takes place over lightweight mechanisms. Think of HTTP resource APIs. And a microservice in itself is built around business capabilities, and it is independently deployable by fully automated deployment machinery. Overall, there is a bare minimum of centralized management of these services, which may be written in different programming languages, and they can use different data storage technologies. So as you can see here, there is a lot of emphasis on dependence of microservices and that they are self-contained and loosely coupled, which is the general direction that we've been going through over time, from the monolith towards the more loosely coupled. And this is important because what's happening, obviously, is that the tempo of change in economy and requirements has been increasing, and even in technology. And there is a need to be able to support a change. So loosely coupled architectures and breaking things into smaller parts enables a lot more agility. You can see it even when we discuss agile processes for development as well. Now, there have been enablers have been allowing that, such as improvements in the technology, connectivity speed, and the tools that we use. There are many benefits for microservices. One of them is modeling the system based on business functions. There is higher availability and fault isolation, such as if one service fails, other services can continue working, and you can scale individual services as needed. And then there is flexibility and reuse. Some services can be part of one or more systems, and microservices enable continuous delivery and easier distributed development. And they work well with the cloud and with containers. And there are more. Think of the example of a banking system where there is a number of microservices such as check balance, deposit, withdrawal, transfer. If there is a higher demand for the check balance service, you can increase resources for that specific service. And if the transfer service fails, customers can still check balance and deposit. And the check balance service can be part of multiple applications or systems, for example. And then you can have one developer working on the check balance service while another developer working on the transfer service in parallel, and so on. Now, obviously, there are trade-offs. Microservices require more effort in design and in consideration of refactoring, and microservices are better suited for agile and DevOps teams. And there are more. In this demo, we'll create a basic Hello World microservice. Then we'll put that microservice in a Docker container. Then we'll copy that container to an Ubuntu Linux virtual machine and to a Windows 10 virtual machine. Then we'll run the microservice on all of these three platforms. And this will demonstrate some of the capabilities of containers in terms of creating the microservice using node.js. First, we need to download node.js. You can go to the website and download it for your specific platform. I've already done that, and I've run the installation package. Now, for the development of the microservice, I will be using a simple utility that simplifies development. It's called Micro, which is developed by a company called Zeit. This is their website. They have additional services, as you see here, that enable you to manage also microservices. The package can be installed using npm package manager. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'll do it globally. Okay, so I have it right now on my machine. I already have created a higher level folder for these projects, so I'm gonna switch to it. And I'll create a specific folder for this Hello World microservice. Okay. So now we are inside this folder, Hello World microservice. Now to create it as a node.js project, generate the package.json file. We can use the package manager from node.js, right? And this will generate for us the package.json file. Per their requirements for micro is that there is a need to modify this line, and we have the start as micro, which we will do. But before that, let's create the index.js file. This will be the only file we'll be using. Okay, so now we have this one. And I'll open it in the editor. In my case, I'm going to be using Microsoft Visual Studio Code. And again, here you have the package.json and the index. Index is empty, so I'm going to modify this. Micro, and then I'm going to save it. And then for the index, I'll be adding the code so the request and the response, and again it's just a very simple hello world, so just by upon accessing we'll be sending the response and hello world. That's it. Now we have it. We'll save it and then run it, and we do that by micro, and then we pass it the file name. So it started the HTTP server and it copied the address to the clipboard, so I can just go here and paste the address, and you can see here that we have hello world running. So now just created a very basic hello world service. The next step is to put it into a container.